Thanks for joining us here on THV 11 Plus. I'm Ashley King, and we start in England, where a former assistant principal and boys basketball coach was arrested this week on sexual assault charges. Trent Morgan resigned from his job Tuesday and made his first appearance in front of a judge on Wednesday morning. He's charged with rape, assault, and sexual grooming of a child. Police tell us the case didn't end with Morgan's arrest. They plan to review additional evidence gathered during search warrants.
This being a coach and assistant principal, we did not want him to leave the area with a bus full of kids. So myself and some deputies come down to locate him. We located him at the bus lot at the England School District, took him into custody, and brought him to the England Police Department.
Morgan's next court appearance is set for February 9th. And in another dramatic arrest, Dr. Guy Peoples turned himself into Conway police this week after he spent a day on the run, wanted by U.S. Marshals, accused of assaulting a patient. According to the arrest affidavit, that victim is a 70-year-old, and it allegedly occurred at Baptist Hospital, where Peoples worked as a surgeon as she recovered from surgery. Peoples has been fired and is in the Faulkner County Jail. A judge has already sealed the case. And in Pine Bluff, a police officer has now been fired after he crashed his patrol car into a jewelry store while driving drunk. THV 11's Maya Ellison gives us a closer look at the scene of the accident and an update on the investigation.
The aftermath of what Pine Bluff police say was an accident involving one of their own. Video surveillance shows 25-year-old Xavier Higgins driving into the front of Sissy's log cabin at Highway 79 and Fawcett Road. The damage estimated at $500,000.
Officer Xavier Higgins, 25, who's been with the Pine Bluff Police Department since June 24th, 2024, was terminated at noon today after being charged with DWI, careless and prohibitive driving, failure to obey a stop sign, all in connection to last night's incident at Sissy's log cabin.
According to police, Higgins was leaving a social event at a police lodge on Target Valley Road around 1 a.m. Investigators say he was driving more than 100 miles per hour before striking the building, and that alcohol was found in the back seat, prompting officers to administer a breathalyzer.
He blew .17, which is well above the .08 legal limit in the state of Arkansas.
Well, this long stretch of road you see behind me is Fawcett Road. The path investigators say the off-duty officer followed, completely crossing this intersection, missing the stop sign until they made it to Sissy's log cabin. But local businesses and others in this area tell me that this road, this area, has a reputation of wrecks and close calls.
I mean, in my lifetime, I've seen, handfuls of wrecks right around this corner, all through our annex building, through the antique building, and different things like that as well, too.
Sissy's log cabin president William Jones says accidents in this area are common. And across the road at Stratton's Auto, Jeremy Stratton says speeding is a constant concern.
Very seldom are they going 40. I mean, even on the side street over here, they usually doing 50, 55, and they don't slow down no matter what.
Pine Bluff police say Higgins was cited for violating the department's pursuit policy just 5 months ago. After Wednesday's crash, he was cited and released.
The city does not condone that in reference to our officers or our community.
In Pine Bluff, Maya Ellison, THV 11 News.
Pine Bluff police say a court date for Higgins is set for December 4th. And as for Sissy's log cabin, President William Jones says repairs will continue, but they are back open for customers. And duck hunters will certainly want to keep an eye on the weather, but will also need to keep an eye on vandalism that could affect you and the duck population. THV 11's Carter Thweet explains a recent incident in Conway County and why it may make you want to spend your weekend somewhere else.
Well, duck season starts on Saturday, but at least one of the really popular spots for it in central Arkansas, Game and Fish is saying you may have better opportunities elsewhere. It's because of a theft, a vandalism that happened all the way back in July.
On July 3rd, we discovered that thieves had stolen copper and created a big mess, really, just ripped the brains out of this pump system.
The pump in question is at Ed Gordon Point Remove in Conway County, northwest of Morrilton. Trey Reed with the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission says It brings water to the plants that ducks like to feed on that attract them to the area.
The other big negative impact, obviously, is duck season's upon us, and there's no water to attract waterfowl and no waters for hunters to hunt birds.
The theft wasn't an isolated incident. Reed says some private farmlands in the area experienced something similar around that same time. Even though this happened in July, Reed says this particular pump is tough to get the parts for. Plus, being a state agency, they have to go through a long process to get it done.
They're telling us hopefully, late November, early December, we might have some of those parts, and of course it's got to be installed. But that's what it looks like right now. Don't have a definite date when we expect it to be fixed.
So with the pump broken, water isn't getting to the plants or creating habitats for waterfowl like it should. Moral of the story, Reed said you might want to find somewhere else to hunt for the time being.
Number one thing to know is there's not going to be a lot of hunting opportunity at Ed Gordon Point Removed WMA for the opening of duck season.
In Conway County, Carter Thweet, THV 11 News.
And there's finally a decision for the future of Hall High School after weeks of uncertainty. Thursday night, the school board voted to let the school apply to become what's called a conversion charter school. THV 11's Catherine Rowley brings us a closer look.
I move the LRSD Board of Education authorize the district to submit an application for a district-run conversion charter for Hall High School for the 26-27 school year.
A conversion charter school operates as a district-controlled school but allows more flexibility for the school students to complete their education. During the conversation, a question about the school's name had been brought up. LRSD Superintendent Jamal Wright says that's one thing that isn't changing.
Of course, we all know that a district conversion charter is still a district school that's governed by the board, but charter, we're not changing the school name. Charter will not be in the name. It'll still be Hall High School just as it is. There were some folks thinking that the word charter was going to be in the name of the school.
One current Hall parent spoke about the decision and even asked her student to send comments in, but shared this during the school board's meeting.
And he said, it doesn't matter. They probably won't listen because adults have power and kids don't.
Vicki Hatter, a member of the school board, was one of 2 votes that said no. She said that she had numerous reasons for voting against the charter, but one had to do with the opportunities still at other schools.
I don't know if it's branding or the reasons on why to go to the school for like the early graduation, because students are able to graduate early at all campuses as long as they meet their graduation requirements. But for me, it will be a no vote on the charter conversion.
And after brief comments, the vote for the future of the school was called.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? 2 opposed. You have those, Volley and Hatter. The motion carries.
The application still has some hoops to jump through at the state level. Also, if approved, the school would not have extracurricular activities like other Little Rock schools. And coming up next on your 11 on 11 weekend wrap up, some call it an old wives' tale, others a farmer's superstition. But can persimmon seeds predict the kind of winter we're in for? That's coming up. Plus, a hero on 4 paws will introduce you to the Arkansas canine whose nose led deputies straight to a missing hunter. But first, it's time to eat it up.
Parents, you got to go Christmas shopping. You got a lot to do. Stop in here. 4 shots in here, so proceed with caution, but you're caffeine addicts like me. You know you can do it. This week on Eat It Up, we have made our way to the city of Roundabouts in Conway. Look, y'all, it's November. Semester tests are coming up. Finals are coming up. We have got the perfect spot, not only for students to sit, read, and relax, but also a lot of folks who enjoy a great cup of coffee made from all local products. We are ready to get our caffeine on. So what do you say? Let's eat it up!
2019, when COVID started, I started kind of getting a real hobby for making coffee at home in a lot of different ways. And one thing led to another. And 5 years later, we own a coffee shop. And my wife's a teacher, so we're really into reading and such like that. So we combined both of our hobbies, and Secret Nook was born.
We kind of knew we didn't have a lot of bookstores that like independent bookstores, so we really wanted to meet that need for the community, and they've responded really well. We have a great group of regulars and customers that pop in, and they've just been really awesome.
So for our specialty menu, we have 5 drinks and 1 rotating. The rotating drink we match with our book of the month. So it's always themed off of a book that we're reading. The Ghost Rider has been our most popular for a year now, every single month. White chocolate mocha with a white chocolate drizzle. It wins just everything.
All of our snacks we get from B&B Creations, which is right down the road. They do all their local baking. So we have scones and cookies and muffins.
My first drink that we made on the menu is called the Page Turner. It's 4 shots, which heavily caffeinated with caramel. Options on the menu that have cold foams on them. One is a Irish cream latte with a raspberry cold foam called the Epilogue, and then we have another one called the Author, and it's a blueberry latte with coconut cold foam. Those are really popular as well.
Chocolate mocha, the Ghost Rider. This would definitely be my go-to every single time. By the way, all these ingredients right here, made in the state of Arkansas. So you know you're supporting local business while you get the Ghost Rider. You don't even have to be a Ghost Rider. Tell everybody you did it. The Epilogue Irish Cream Latte. Ooh, that's fantastic. Raspberry cold foam. Look at this amazing blueberry muffin. Relax, read, get a snack, get a coffee. What more could you want? Maybe an audiobook because I have trouble reading.
Welcome back. Well, 'tis the season for persimmons, small orange fruits that grow on trees this time of year. And if you look inside for the seeds, some say they can predict the future forecast. Meteorologist Simone Thomas cracks open the farmer's folklore behind persimmon seeds.
We always look for the seeds, and we always cut in them. Something my dad showed me and my brothers when we were little kids, and it's just a tradition that we do.
Britt Day lives here in Pulaski County, and he brought me in on the fun of winter folklore forecasting.
We usually have a lot of deer hanging out right here.
His family has lived on this Ferndale property for nearly 3 decades, and he has lived in Arkansas his whole life, long before we established the intricacies of winter weather forecasting that are used today.
Mother Nature has a way of forecasting or predicting the future, weather-wise. Open up.
It's a spoon! If you're confused about the lore behind this winter folklore, here's what you need to know. According to the Farmer's Almanac, a spoon shape suggests a snowy winter. A knife shape indicates a harsh, icy winter with strong winds, and a fork shape predicts a mild winter. You see the little handle and the spoon? And while most people may exclusively rely on the science and data, sometimes Mother Nature doesn't get it all wrong.
We found a spoon in the seeds, and we had lots of snow last year. So spoons again this year, so hopefully we'll get more snow.
If you're dreaming of a white Christmas, this might be music to your ears. But I'll be checking the data and checking it twice to make sure we get the forecast right. Meteorologist Simone Thomas, THV11 News.
And some good news ahead of Thanksgiving. Flights are looking to return to normal ahead of Turkey Day. Many travelers saw major headaches over the past few weeks due to the government shutdown. AAA says nearly 82 million Americans will travel next week, with more than 6 million expected to fly. So if you're one of those expected next Wednesday and Sunday to be the busiest at the airports. And with affordability on a lot of minds, President Trump is rolling back tariffs on hundreds of food products less than 2 weeks before Thanksgiving. Kelly O'Grady shows us some ways to keep saving money ahead of the holidays.
So what can consumers expect this Thanksgiving when it comes to prices?
So the good news is Thanksgiving is going to be a little less expensive than it was last year, but turkey prices are up 40%.
Phil Lempert is a food industry analyst known as the supermarket guru.
Turkey prices, why are they up this year?
There's a shortage of turkeys because of bird flu. Over the past few years, we have less turkeys and less chickens, and that's what's creating this influx of prices.
Average frozen wholesale turkeys are $1.32 per pound. That's up from 97 cents per pound last year. Feast favorites, cranberries, are up 6%, while green beans are up 32%. However, staples like lettuce, milk, soft drinks, and potatoes are flat or up slightly from a year ago, while butter, bread, and eggs are down.
Are tariffs having an impact at all on grocery prices?
Absolutely. There's no question. Whether it's an imported product like olive oil or imported cheeses or imported wines, tariffs have an effect. But also, let's not forget, there's a tariff on aluminum cans. So that, in fact, even on our canned pumpkin, is going to increase those prices.
Grocery chains, including Walmart, Aldi, and Lidl, have deals to feed a family of 10 for $4 or less per person. All include turkey, stuffing, potatoes, pie, and other sides.
What they're doing is they're putting together 10, 15, 20 items in a bundle, and that way we're forgetting about what the price is, but we're looking at the price per person.
While Walmart's Thanksgiving meal deal is cheaper compared to last year, it contains fewer items. Retailers understand consumers are price conscious, so they're finding ways to make things more affordable in their most important season. Kelly O'Grady, CBS News, New York. And a four-legged Arkansas Game and Fish employee is proving himself to be a hero after finding a lost hunter in the woods last week. And it's only fitting that the dog's name is Hunter. Our Brooke Buckner got to meet him and his handler to learn all about his recent rescue. Where'd he go? Good boy.
Meet Hunter, a black lab who lives a simple life when he's not on the job.
He's a pretty independent dog, so he's not really worried about you or what you're doing, so he likes running around sniffing, playing with other dogs.
And not playing with me. Let's just say he couldn't care less about the tennis ball I brought him.
Here. Hey.
Hunter and his handler, game warden Doug Martizik, spend every day together, both at home and at work. They're based in Union County, but recently assisted the Ouachita County Sheriff's Office in a search for a missing hunter in a rural part of the county.
We brought Hunter to the hunter's vehicle. He immediately caught an odor. We tracked down the road. It was just a woods road that ended at a deer stand.
But they didn't find the missing hunter there. After some more walking and sniffing through the darkness, Hunter tracked his fellow hunter down shortly after.
On the ride home, and you're replaying everything, and you have a sense of pride for your canine.
Leading to more treats and belly rubs for a job well done.
Good boy.
And still to come on the 11 on 11 weekend wrap up, a first look inside the capital city's newest high school while it's still under construction. Plus, an Arkansas woman survives after being pinned under a giant tree. Her message of gratitude for first responders when we come back. Check this out. THV 11 got a behind-the-scenes look at West Little Rock's newest high school this week. Pinnacle View High School is still under construction and won't be complete until 2027, but we got to go inside to get a sneak peek. Here's a look at the 320,000 square foot building with a basketball and volleyball arena, a gym that doubles as a storm shelter, and a new baseball and softball complex. If approved by the school board, Stephen Helmick, current principal of Don Roberts Elementary, will take the title of founding principal.
We want our academic programs to challenge students to think deeply, collaborate, innovate, and pursue excellence in every subject area. We want to invest in vibrant fine arts programs, music, theater, visual arts, creative expression, because we know the arts ignite passion and expand imagination.
The school will accommodate about 1,200 students. And our last story is from a Little Rock woman who is grateful to be alive after strong winds caused a tree to fall into her home, pinning her beneath it. But just when she thought that she might not survive, a group of heroes gave her a second chance at life. Here's our Brooke Buckner.
I could feel myself starting to slip away.
That's what Katie McClanahan remembers from being trapped under a tree that fell into her home on April 5th.
I was instantly knocked to the ground, surrounded by darkness. I was face down and frog-legged with a shattered pelvis. It was a massive tree, 4 feet in diameter, crushing me. I broke into tears, desperately screaming for help, but no one heard me.
But eventually someone did.
Our next door neighbor's dog was relentlessly barking at the corner of the house where the tree had fallen. The neighbor came out to investigate why the dog was barking. I heard a man's voice say, "Wow, that's a big tree." I screamed for help as loud as I possibly could, and he immediately went home to call 911.
Not long after, first responders showed up and quickly realized this was a full-on rescue mission. Thanks to the UAMS trauma surgeon and nurse on scene, McClanahan was able to receive a blood transfusion from under the tree.
I received 4 units of blood. She gave me medication for pain and to help protect my heart, at which point I lost consciousness. It took first responders 3.5 hours to get me out from under the tree.
When she eventually made it to the hospital, she had no vitals or pulse.
I was immediately rushed into countless life-saving surgeries, during which I ended up needing another massive blood transfusion, receiving 15 units of packed red blood cells, 15 units of plasma, and 2 units of platelets.
3 months later, she could walk again.
Today I'm walking, driving, and back to most of my activities of daily living.
And she's advocating for change, more pre-hospital blood transfusions.
I was very fortunate to receive blood in the field. This is not the norm, but it should be. We have to make pre-hospital blood transfusions available to all Arkansans.
Well, that's going to do it for this week on our 11 on 11. I'm Ashley King. Thanks again for joining us here on THV 11 Plus, and we'll see you next time.